Welcome, everyone, to the regularly scheduled meeting of the Charter Township of Washington Board of Trustee meeting. Today is Wednesday, April 9th, 2025. Tonight, I'm thrilled to welcome Dr. Michelle Jurgo to the Washington community as she prepares for a grand opening of Washington McDental. Dr. Jurgo is a proud U.S. Navy veteran who brings a strong sense of service, dedication, and professionalism to everything she does. With years of experience in dentistry, she is passionate about providing high-quality, patient-centered care in the warm and welcoming environment. Her commitment to excellence, both in her military service and in her dental practice, makes her a wonderful addition to our local business community. So please welcome Dr. Jurgo up here as she leads us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Sorry, thank you. If you'll please stand and join her.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I don't know, maybe if you'd like to say like where you're opening up.
Well, I thank you for having me tonight. I know
you.
I've done this before, so
Yeah.
I have everything good to go. Yes, I moved in probably about a month ago now. My brother-in-law is my builder of my first office in Shelby Township, after I left the Navy and then worked at like a big group office in Warren. And now I'm just moving myself north. So I'm here at 27 and Van Dyke, just a little bit north of Barverona in the, is it called Extra Credit Union? So on the top floor.
upstairs.
Beautiful. You can come by and see it sometime. If you're afraid of the dentist, don't worry, I will not scare you. But thank you for having us.
No, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Welcome to Washington.
Thank you.
With that, I'll ask our clerk to do the roll call.
Praviti,
Here.
Brown, present. Nicely,
He's absent.
absent. Chaplin,
Here.
Mylum,
Here.
Reinhold,
Here.
Stevenson.
Okay. Next, you see the agenda before you. If there's any additions, deletions, or motions,
Don't hate me.
if not,
We did talk about this. I would like to make a motion to add an agenda item for a discussion on the OHM contract going out to bid from last month.
I'm going to have it at the next meeting, though.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that okay or no?
Are we going to have more information available? 'Cause
Yeah.
I-
I'm saying we don't really have the information.
Fair enough, but I did want to touch it because it was voted on. We didn't have anybody to present information at the time, and I wanted the board to get a better background on what's going on. So if it's going to be at the next meeting, I'll withdraw the motion.
Okay.
It will be.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second,
Okay, supported by Brown. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed. Next, you're being asked to approve the consent agenda. You're being asked to approve the accounts payable of April 4, 2025. Approve the minutes of the Board of Trustee meeting of March 19, 2025. Approve the minutes of the Board of Trustees special meeting of March 31st, 2025. And accept the Building Department monthly report of March 2025.
So moved?
Okay, motion by Chaplin. Support. Supported by Stevenson. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed. There's no moved agenda items. Any comments from the audience on agenda items only? If not, going once, going twice. Legal counsel? Okay. Unfinished business. Next is 8.1. I'll call our fire chief up here to explain it better along with our legal counsel, but this is to approve the purchase agreement for a future purchase of a new ladder truck for our fire department.
Thank you. Good evening. Appreciate your time. I always seem to open up with that, and I see your agenda seems light, and I'm going to try to move through this. But this is an important initiative. It's so important that this is my second time before this board, and I appreciate your patience and tolerance as we come back before you and take another agenda item. But I think it speaks to how focused we are and how important it is to us to be very prudent and responsible with taxpayer dollars, right? Especially with an apparatus that is, $2.3 million. So I appreciate that. This time did give, this added time gave us, a lot of opportunity to engaged legal counsel, our dealer, Halt Fire, and also gave us some time to really scrutinize and go over these different Pierce purchasing programs, right? We did have an opportunity to look at this bid spec, and we were able to pull out some of the contingencies, so I'm grateful for that opportunity. Now, I read Mr. Siebert's cover letter to the board that I, again, think you got maybe Monday, and that draft PO. I appreciate his time, and I think he did a great job summarizing the terms that were negotiated with Halt Fire and Pierce. And I agree wholeheartedly that we not only have a PO that is ready for your consideration, but we have a ladder truck design specification that will exceed our expectations and really serve our community well for the next 20 to 25 years. As you know from the information in your board packet, you've got a PO and a cover letter, and I'm before you asking for really permission or approval for the supervisor to sign that PO in the amount of $2,274,245 for the ladder truck that is in bid spec through the Buy My Pierce program that we've been scrutinizing. The bid spec itself is several pages long. The option list itself is one of the smaller documents, and there's 488 options in this truck. So it's just too much to give the board to scrutinize and go through. As I ask my committee and my leadership to give us a good spec in a truck forward, I just ask the same of you, that you certainly trust that we've done everything we can to identify the right piece of apparatus and capital asset that's going to serve us. But I'm certainly here not only to get your input and your guidance and your direction, but to answer any questions to, get those this initiative moving forward. I can tell you, like, some of the very simple things to start with. That the part of the spec comes with 2 inspection trips for 3 of our fire committee people to Appleton plant. Includes delivery back to Michigan, post-delivery inspection, of course. 3 chassis trainings, and then 3 ladder trainings, because we will certainly need extensive training on this piece of apparatus. Photo progress report's a pretty standard thing that we can keep track as this piece of apparatus goes through the assembly line. We've got $8,000 in customer contingency in there. That is in the rare occasion that, as we get closer to either building this or watching it come through the line, one of us wants a light moved here or something there. But, we just felt comfortable having some of that in there. I can tell you that one of the things that we pulled out was $100,000 in this loose equipment allowance. I started asking a few more questions, and it didn't make financial sense to me to add $100,000 in there to Halt Fire to hold on to, when Halt Fire doesn't rep all of the equipment that we need. An example is we're very specific on the type of fire hose that we use. It's a Mercedes Kraken fire hose, right? Halt doesn't rep that, and we would just be spending added money to get that. So same applies to our nozzles and our gates and all this specialty stuff that goes into the truck that makes it very useful and beneficial to us. So we did pull that out. We have $12,000 in tool mounting allowance. Those are the specialty DOT pieces of equipment that hold our tools in place when we're running down the road. And the last thing, and I'll struggle a little bit to explain it, but if you're like me, you've probably got, especially with a piece of apparatus, it's $2.3 million, and it's 40 to 43 months out. You're wondering how the heck, prices of eggs and milk and everything go up every week, right? And every time we engage a salesperson, they're like, hey, you got to make a decision because by May 16th, it's going to go up 1 point. So in 4 years, I have a concern on, where's the cap, right? What's going on here? So we have rolled in 5% of this cost of this vehicle. It's $113,458 under what Pierce calls the producer's price index. It's a repricing allowance that they hold on to. And I've got a whole page here that I could email the board. A lot of it is, not a lot of it, some of it's over my head, but long story short, if I can summarize this, if we see let me back up. If this is approved and it gets ordered tomorrow, that will be day one. up to 14 months before the completion of the apparatus, at the 14-month mark, before completion, Pierce looks at this and identifies the cost. If that cost is 5% above what you may approve today, Pierce eats it. If it goes up to 5% more, 113,458, we've already got that money into Pierce for them to use. If they don't use any of it, the money comes back to us 100%. If they use 1%, that 4% comes back to us. So the first 5%, if it's increased, Pierce eats it. And this will all be in the agreement when Mr. Siebert sees it come back. Again, we've got another 5% already handed over to them, rolled into this PO and this agreement that we could use for, added expense to the vehicle itself. Any questions on that? I did rest somewhat easy knowing that we've got a pretty good buffer contingency in this PPI program. I asked the question today, has Pierce ever utilized any of that? And they have not as of this date. But as I stand before you today, we're in a pretty uneasy environment, although the market did pretty good today, and I'm grateful for that. But, the tariffs and all this other stuff that's got us all in turmoil, we have no idea of knowing what 4 years from now is going to look like. So we do have some contingency in there in this PPI program, and I don't see any risk to us other than perhaps losing some interest on that $113,000 over the next 40 months. But other than that, I'm open to questions. I can answer anything that's on your mind.
I know that we looked at this, Chief Terrell, we looked at it March 5th, and we debated about it. We had all the specs and everything. We didn't, and our attorney Siebert, the purchase order that we were presented was not proper, and we voted to have him write the language so we could properly be in line for the ladder truck. And then it took time to write that, and I'm really happy with what Attorney Siebert wrote, because it's really, a lot of thought went into it, and we really appreciate that. But is it really, 3 to 4 years out? That's a long, could it ever be sooner than that? Or being realistic, is that what it is?
It is what it is.
Wow,
it's
just
and that's
yeah, okay.
I look at this board and I see a lot of very savvy, intelligent business people, so I'm sure it overlaps into your world as well, right?
Yeah.
But I have colleagues across the country, alumni from the National Fire Academy, who I talk to often, and the prevailing conversation amongst fire chiefs across this country is, how long? Where's the ceiling? How is this sustainable? And no one has the answer. No one knows how or why. It keeps going back to the same thing you've heard many, many times, is, since the pandemic and since COVID and supply chain, but it's just never leveled off for any of us in our world, right? But this is what the world we're living in, and it's realistic. I don't think it's sustainable. And I will say this, ironically, May 16th, Pierce has another 0.75 price increase forthcoming. And I just learned literally an hour ago when I was talking to our Halt salesman that they already rolled that into this. So I didn't want to muddy the waters, but if this gets approved, we will back out 0.75%, which is nothing compared to $2.3 million. This, sadly, is a 40-month lead time, and I own some of this because we've been budgeting and forecasting this on our capital asset rotation for 3 years, and I felt comfortable, not knowing what I know today, with stretching that out for our taxpayers and, for our taxpayer dollars,
Sure.
which I'm just so sensitive in how we spend that, whether it's, $50 or 2.3. I realize it's not our money, and I'm very grateful for what we do have. So it's going to be here, if approved, in 40 to 43 months. We're going to sustain and maintain and keep our current ladder truck in service. We're going to continue to deliver world-class service. I'm just, it's sad because I'm going to sound like a really old crusty guy like my dad when he complains about eggs or bread from 20 years ago. But when we started looking at this truck, it was $900,000, and then years ago, right? And then I remember it was 1.8 or 1.9, and we're looking at 2.3, right?
Thank you.
Did I answer your question, or did I just get on a soapbox? Sorry about that.
I'm good.
If they have a cancellation or something, is it possible to get stepped up to that?
You know, part of the, there's 4 different programs that we were navigating with Pierce. And the first time we started to approach you, or the first time my committee got together and started talking about the Pierce, it was a stock program where we could watch these trucks come off every month or so and hope that it was the right color and the right stock truck. That wasn't working for us. Then we went to this DAS program with Pierce, which was better suited, and that's the last presentation. We were talking about watching these trucks come off, but what we didn't realize is that Pierce only allots 2 vehicles per dealership per state, and we lost that opportunity. The first deal was
Is that
every
per
4
year or?
That was for the program, and they don't know if they're going to, doesn't sound like they're going to redo the program.
Okay.
So the first option was about 4 or 5 months we swagged that we may get a truck. The second DAS option that we were before you, I think a meeting or 2 ago, we were thinking 18 months on that one because they start to pre-build them with, I talked about 488 options on this. The other DAS program may have, and I'm guessing here, 400 options, right? And we're trying to get the best suited vehicle coming off that. That was like an 18-month lead time. That is not an option anymore in Michigan, so we went to the next best thing, which is build my Pierce, which is a little bit more of a custom opportunity with 488 options, but it takes 40 months because of the 488 options. I don't believe there's going to be any opportunity to, snag another truck anywhere else coming off the line. But I would certainly ask that question for us, unfortunately.
I make a motion to approve. I think we talked about it a lot. I think our major issues, Attorney Seibert has handled for us. I think approving the purchase today ensures we will receive the mission-ready letter when we need it the most without falling behind in essential public safety.
Second.
Thank you.
Okay.
I
Motion
appreciate
by
it very
Mylum,
much.
seconded by Brown. If no questions, roll call.
Reviti.
Yes.
Pardon me.
Oh, no, I'm good.
I'm sorry. Mylum.
Yes.
Brown. Yes. Nicely. No. Chaplin.
Yes.
Reinhold.
Yes.
Stevenson.
Yes.
Okay, motion passed.
I just did want to ask one question real quick. I think we were all going in the right direction. Bob, I think it's very clear. It's a good purchase agreement. I know you guys worked a lot on this, and I read your communications. Is there anything over and above what the chief has said, anything that you think you should particularly point out that we need to know in the construction of this deal? Or?
No, the only concern that I had raised with the chief was the board needed to know that this price could fluctuate.
Right.
And I think the chief explained that, and the document that he's referring to about this 5% and another 5%, I have not seen, because we had that discussion. This program literally was changing. We were meeting with one of the gentlemen from HALT on a Monday morning after that Wednesday board meeting, and he said, look, this program on Friday changed, so everything we were looking at is now off the table. So it was a completely new program. And that was the concern I had. I was good with the purchase order that we had revised, but I was concerned with the fact that 40 months from now, you didn't need a surprise of a purchase price that you didn't anticipate. But with that 5% number, and now you know what it is, it puts a ceiling on it, so I don't have anything to add.
Great. Very good.
Thank you. Next is 8.2 to approve the Third Amendment to the consent judgment of Meyer. So the Meyer at 26 and Van Dyke is doing a major renovation. We do have a consent judgment with them. This one, the long and short of it, is basically they're doing a renovation on the outside. They'd like to paint it to match all the other Meyers. This paint has an expectancy of 15 years. I did have Bob write it in here that if the paint does chip or doesn't last, that Meyer we would be able to enforce it for them to repaint the building. Right? That's basically the long and short.
When this came up, you have a provision in your zoning ordinance which deals with non-residential structures and the materials and the painting and so on. And we had requested Myers to present it to the consent judgment committee for a determination as to whether or not they could do it. as a matter of course, or whether or not we needed to amend the consent judgment. The consent judgment committee felt, after listening, I think, to two of their architects, that it would be better to reduce it to writing so that we had some assurance that what they were going to do would have a shelf life of 10 or 15 years. And then to also put a provision in this third amendment that if at any time during that period, we went out and inspected it, which we have the absolute right to do, and made a determination that the materials were not holding up to as represented, we would notify them. They had 30 days to cure, and if they didn't cure, we can go to court and ask the judge for help. But, you know, they're putting a lot of money into this. I don't know that that's going to be a problem. But we have the ability to do it.
Slightly off topic, did we ever get to the bottom of their way they were handling their green space? I know this is, we had talked about that with Meyer, the neighbors had come in, and we said we were going to reach back out to them.
That I don't know.
What's it?
Yeah, it's been taken.
Thank you, I'm sorry. Just felt like we had them here at the moment.
It's all Meyer.
It's what?
It's all Meyer.
It's all Meyer.
Well, I make a motion to approve the third amendment to the consent judgment of Meyer, Inc.
Support. Okay, motion by Brown, supported by Stevenson. Any questions? Otherwise, roll call.
Brown, yes. Stevenson.
Yes.
Previti.
Yes.
Chaplin.
Yes.
Reinhold.
Yes.
Mylum.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. This is going to be one of my fastest meetings. Yeah, no jinx. We have no new business. Comments from the audience on non-agenda items. If you'd like to approach the board on basically anything, for 3 minutes, please state your name and address and come to the podium. No? Okay. Once, going twice. Okay. Next, elected officials update, community announcements. We will have another meeting next Wednesday, which is April 16th. We will be closed on Good Friday, April 18th. Our lockbox will still be open if anybody would like to drop off anything at the lockbox. This Friday, I believe, is the last fish fry extra at the Lions Club. They wanted me to announce it. This Friday also, April 11th, is the Greater Washington Area Historical Society 198th anniversary of Washington Township. It'll be held at the Abbey in Romeo. There's a couple tickets left if anybody's interested. As we lead on to our bicentennial in 2 years, so we're excited about that. On May 1st, I will be doing, again, our annual National Day of Prayer, and also it's National Firefighter Day as well. So we'll be doing that at the Memorial Park at 1 p.m. So everybody is welcome. Parks and Rec Commission, we are accepting applications. We do have the 3 current commissioners are interested in renewing their terms, but I do open it up to the public. If anybody's interested, please contact me over the next week so we can start putting that together. And I think that's all I have.
And I have an update from the Starkweather Arts Gallery in the village of Romeo. They're having a Romeo Community Schools student art show presented by the RCS art teachers. April 11, 12, 17, 18, 19, 24, 25, a lot of beautiful art from our students at the high school. May 2nd, Evelyn Rader, a famous, pretty famous local artist, will have her art show opening May 2nd. And as always, they have open mic night, which is really awesome, always the 4th Friday of the month. So feel free to stop in at the Starkweather. Thank you.
No other business? Okay. Otherwise, any correspondence? None? Otherwise, I make a motion to adjourn. Supported by Stevenson. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed. Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you.